Yo, what's going on, Trojan family? What is up, and welcome to the USC LAFB show. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud. Thank you, as always, for making this show a part of your day and your number one home for USC football coverage. A few days off. I was in New York running the Brooklyn Half Marathon. Any runners out there? Shout out. My first half marathon, got it done just under 3 hours. Not the best time. But for the lack of training I did, I was pleased, pleasantly surprised to finish under 3. So if there's any runners out there, drop any half marathons you recommend. I don't think I'll ever push for a full marathon. Maybe one day we'll see, but I want to try to do a yearly half. So anyone out there know of any good ones? I've heard there's a great one in Napa I want to look at doing. Who doesn't want to run in wine country, drink some wine? But if you don't have any comment, would love to hear and check those out that I can add kind of to the list to potentially do. But anyway, so me and the family were in New York for 5 days or so. So a little time off. So apologize for being away. Looks like USC kind of took some time off, at least recruiting. Obviously, the coaches are out on the trail, but no big recruiting news. So not a ton to really report anyway, which has been good since the unfortunate Xavier Griffin decommitment, which we talked about at length last time. So not really going to go too granular in recruiting. I'll probably do another episode of that here in a few days. That there are a couple guys swaying. I know Samuel Utu, the big interior offensive lineman now, is kind of trending towards Washington. It seems like USC has backed off of their pursuit of him. So maybe I'll touch on that a little bit later. But outside of that, not a ton of recruiting news as of right this second. Right now, the big news, as everyone knows, everyone's talking about, so I had to jump on and talk too, is this USC Notre Dame rivalry and the potential of it ending. If you missed it last night live, Tim and the Madman on our call-in show, almost 2 hours taking your calls. I haven't get a chance to watch it yet, but it looked like a very spirited, phenomenal show. A lot of opinions, so if you want to, go check that out. It's live on our USC LAFB YouTube channel, which you're probably watching on right now, so you can watch that if you want to check it out. But I had to get on here real quick, just give my thoughts, because this is huge. I mean, this is the best rivalry in sports, in my opinion, hands down, because it's not regional. It transcends time. It transcends sport. 100 years, 95 meetings. The only time off has been World War II and COVID. Transcends conferences, obviously. Two have never been in a conference together. It's historic. It's what makes the game of college football beautiful. And to see it end would be heartbreaking, for a better way to put it. We've seen traditions end all the time, especially now with this new conference realignment. So it's not shocking that this day would maybe come, but it will be sad if it does go through. And the hard thing is you have to look at, right, there's kind of two sides. You can look at what's best for college football. And obviously, I'm coming from the side of USC, not Notre Dame. You look at what's best for the game of college football and what's best for USC football. I still think there's a world where both of those can marry and you can get the best of both. It's going to take some changes. I don't think it's going to look like the way it's looked for the last 20, 30, 40 years, which is kind of what this report that went out from Sports Illustrated and Pat Ford kind of touched on. But I do think both sides can still marry in the middle of doing what's best for college football and still doing what's best for USC football. Obviously, the easiest solution to all this is Notre Dame joining the Big Ten. That's obvious, right? They're like pseudo in the ACC, but they basically get to have their cake and eat it too. I mean, they've kind of been on this pedestal of college football for a long time. And if you're Notre Dame, why would you not be? If you're going to get treated that way, if you can get the payouts from NBC, you can get the bonuses of being an independent versus splitting with your conference if you make the CFP, like, why would you join? Like, until they get penalized for either the schedule they play or not having to play within a conference, it would make no sense for them to join. None. So we can all sit here and hate it, which is fair. But if you're Notre Dame, you're never going to change. Why would you? So to me, USC is taking the stance of like, look, this game is important to our fans. It's important to our program. It's important to our players. It's important to our city. We value all that. But in reality, we are the ones getting taken advantage of in this relationship. Because while it has relevance for everything I just named, tradition, pageantry, history, love of the fans, there's absolutely no benefit for USC playing Notre Dame. None. In terms of getting to where they want to be at the end of the season. And I know, and this is a reality. This is a reality right now. And I'm sure old USC fans will hate hearing this. You can get mad at me. You can get mad at Lincoln Riley. You can get mad at Jen Cohn, whoever you want to get. But I don't think there's anyone in the USC locker room, again, not at all saying they don't value the game and they want to win the game. But I don't think there's anyone in that locker room right now circling Notre Dame and saying this is like the most important thing this season, beating Notre Dame. No. They're circling January 4th or whatever day it is and saying, this is our goal. College football national championship. Nothing else matters. We got to get here. And we got to beat everyone in our way to get here. Notre Dame's on that path. And that's the one you want to have more than maybe some of the others. But in reality, you got to win 10-plus games to get here. That's all that matters. That's the reality. As great as this game is, as great as the tradition is, when you look at the program right now and what is going to bring that fan base truly back and bring in a new fan base that has been lacking, a newer, younger fan base that's been lacking, it's getting to that January 6th, 7th, whatever they always, now it's in February now, maybe, I don't know. You know what I mean. It's not like Michigan and Ohio State anymore, where it's, they circle and, Ohio State's coach almost lost his job and is probably still on the hot seat because he's lost, 4 in a row to Michigan, and yet they just won the national championship. It's just not like that, in my opinion. I don't even think it's my opinion. I think it's pretty factual. You can just feel it when the teams play. And that doesn't, and I don't want to portray this wrong. In no way does that mean it doesn't mean something more to the players and to the coach in that locker room. So I don't want to get that twisted and have everyone wanting to light pitchforks and go to Lincoln Riley's house. Absolutely, I think that game means a little bit more. But at the end of the day, all that really matters is the college football playoff and getting their national championship. That's all that really matters. And so when you're USC, and now you're looking at what you have to do to get there, you're looking at the challenging conference schedule you play, you're looking at how many games you have to play. What is the benefit right now of playing Notre Dame? And if it's just tradition and pageantry, is that enough to make it worth it? Now, I would say yes, it still is. Because that's what makes college football what it is. And until it truly is just a sub-league of the NFL, a training ground for the NFL, we want to try to grasp onto something that still makes it collegiate football. And this does that. But I think you can do it with some different parameters, which USC, we've confirmed by other sources, offered a 1-year extension, basically with the intention of signing a long-term deal, But this one-year deal gives them time to really hash out because USC wants to potentially move the game around, have flexibility to have it in the beginning of the season, basically not be locked into every other year, home and away. When it's in South Bend, it's in October. When it's in LA, it's the last game of the year. Being able to shift it with their schedule based on kind of opponents matched up, right? Like you get your Big Ten schedule, and you can kind of decide, okay, well, let's play Notre Dame like week 2. And then this season play them. Let's open the season against Notre Dame. Okay, we can do maybe a neutral site for this. And it's never going to be perfect. Unless Notre Dame joined the Big Ten. It's never going to be perfect. But I think that it keeps the rivalry alive. It keeps all the pageantry. Yeah, you might not have as much if you have a couple neutral sites. But as long as you keep still home and away, and then maybe a neutral site every third or fourth season, then home and away, I think that's enough to save it. And I really do think it gets done. So I think I'm not saying this is all like smoke, but I think all the outside noise is perpetuating that USC is trying to cancel this game, running scared from Notre Dame. When in reality, I think it's a negotiation. They're on the schedule this year. Both sides want it to get done. Notre Dame kind of needs it to get done. Notre Dame played one ranked opponent last year. I'm not saying they got into the CFP because they beat USC at the end of the season. Obviously, if they would have lost to USC, they wouldn't have made it. But they need USC more than USC needs Notre Dame for the end goal. Notre Dame played one ranked opponent, and it was Army last year. And then they lost to Northern Illinois at home. And they were in the Natty. I'm not saying they're winning a good football team. But everyone that watches college football can say, schedules aren't always even. And when you can go into the playoff healthy and not played a gauntlet, because this is going to be kind of my last point, and we'll wrap up here because I want to get your guys' opinions and not ramble too much. Because everyone will always say, this is what I'm getting, to be honest, a little bit, not tired of. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I just don't think it's relevant. I'll say that. And I'm not even defending Lincoln Riley. This has nothing to do with Lincoln Riley. But everyone always brings up the Pete years. Pete would have never ran away. Pete's not scared. They would have played everyone, anyone. That's true. I agree with that. The game is so different now. You cannot compare it to that anymore. And besides all the off-the-field NIL stuff, we've talked about that ad nauseum. Let's just go with this simple fact. During the Pete Carroll years, you played a maximum of 13 games. 13 games. You played your 11 regular season, your one conference title, which I think was at the end of the Pete years, but the Pac-12 made it, so it was just a winner. There wasn't even a conference title. I can't remember when that merged and then changed back, but anyway. Typically 11, one conference title was your 12th game, and then whatever BCS game you made that was deemed the Natty or not, or the Rose Bowl, that was your 13th game. Kaput. Now you play 12 regular season. The conference title is your 13th game. And then depending on your seeding, you play 3 or 4 more games. So you potentially play a 17-game NFL season, essentially. If you play in the Natty, that's your 17th game. Unless you had a bye, it's your 16th game. So, Notre Dame doesn't have a conference title. So they already have one less game, right? So they have their 12 games. They're done. Season's over. More often than not, they play a much softer schedule. So let's not even talk about wins and losses. Let's just talk about the toll it takes on your players mentally, physically, and how many players can make it that full season healthy. So Notre Dame gets a less game, lesser opponents, so they're fresher, healthier, go into the playoff then. Why would you, as USC, know you have to play another game, most likely, a conference championship game, play a Notre Dame team who's a good football team, regardless of if they have a lesser schedule. Notre Dame's a good football team. They're always going to be good. Morgan Freeman's a great coach. Coach Freeman. When you can have a lesser team that kind of gives you the ability to rest some guys, really savvy up, especially if whether it's late in the season or early on, get guys healthy again, or you're just going to throw right into the gauntlet again, play Notre Dame, and then guess what? A week later, you have your conference title game. And after the conference title game, depending on your seeding, you're going to the playoffs right after. It's like it's just bad business. It doesn't make sense as a football coach to want this. It's not running away. It's just like playing the odds. Am I going to make it healthy or not? So that's why, in order to preserve the game, which I really 100% believe USC and all the powers that be want, but you want to have scheduling flexibility. Like, we don't want to play Notre Dame in the last weekend of November before we're then going to go have to play Ohio State or Oregon in the conference title. We'll play Notre Dame in September, kick the season off, kind of get our roots, see where we're going. We get the rivalry, get the pageantry. I don't think that is a bad thing at all. Like, from Notre Dame's side, they almost need to play USC later so they can have that potential quality win on their resume. USC doesn't need that, nor should they want that. You got to go UCLA, Notre Dame, and then conference title. Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, whoever it may be, Penn State, and then go to the playoff? No. So, I think it gets done. I think ultimately Notre Dame realizes USC has the upper hand. USC may get blamed as this bad guy because, that's the way college football is everyone's against USC, which is great. USC should want all that smoke. USC fans, take all that smoke. Absolutely. At the end of the day, USC has the leverage in this. And I think they're going to get their way because Notre Dame needs USC. And so ultimately, I don't think this series is going anywhere. This game means too much for college football. Both sides know that. Both sides realize that. But I just think moving forward after this season, we'll see schedule flexibility. We'll see home and away flexibility. Doesn't mean this game will never be played in its current format at the end of seasons, but I think that it'll have that ability to be that kind of opening game, week 2 game, which is good, which is great, right? USC Stanford used to always play, week 2? Didn't make it like less of a rivalry because it happened week 2. Just as great. So that's what I think happens. I think right now it's a lot of just outside noise. Everyone hating on USC. Everyone wanted to barrel down on Lincoln Riley and all these narratives about him always wanting to run away. It's wild to me. I think he's been kind of unfairly judged and criticized by unfortunate timing of events, right? Like he kind of valued Oklahoma in the Big 12, and then when they joined the SEC, he leaves. So everyone said, he was scared of the SEC. I think that was just like unfortunate timing. The whole LSU-USC game, it's documented. LSU wanted out of that game, not USC. USC maybe said, like, yeah, well, if we can get an opponent, like, we're not going to, like, fight you on it. Like, we have to play you. But it was LSU's side that wanted out on that, not USC. But it somehow always is Lincoln Riley wanted out of that game. And that's just not true. USC went to the Big Ten. They were the pioneer in moving to the Big Ten. And then Oregon and Washington were the ones that really killed the Pac-12. USC obviously was the most powerful program in the Pac-12, and you lose your king or queen on the board, it's hard to make up for it. But they get the full downfall when in reality it was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff of the Pac-12, and then ultimately Oregon, Washington, and all the other ones kind of following suit and going. But that's a whole other conversation. Anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts. It's the talk of the town, but ultimately, this is just my opinion. I don't fear the game is going away. I think it'll be around. I just think it's going to look different. It's going to be shuffled a little bit moving forward after this season. So regardless, this year, enjoy it. October in South Bend. I hope to be there. I can't wait. Hopefully we get out of this 2-game rut that we've been in and see this team get back to where they should be. Because it's such an important game to college football, and it can only do good things for this program, this city, if they're able to navigate it correctly in order to help them and not ultimately hurt them in the ultimate quest, like I said, which is winning a national championship. So that's all I got today, guys. As always, appreciate you. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. USC LAFB. If you prefer podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, just search Salute to Troy. You can find all of our USC Trojans content on LAFBnetwork.com. Just launched a forum there. It's raw, it's new, still working out the kinks. But if you go to LAFBnetwork.com in the menu, just look for, you don't have to search, it just says forums, click forums. You'll see our USC Trojans ones there. We've got a topic up right now on this discussion, so you can discuss there. Would love it. All you got to do is write your name, write your email, plop it in. Doesn't cost anything. None of that, no spam. And we can just start discussing there. So check it out there. So thank you as always. I'm Ryan Dyer. This is the USC LAFB show. And as always, fight on.